All right, everyone. So welcome to our very first video cast. And today I'm going to actually have you guys watch this video in class so that you can learn how to take notes on a video. So how to take notes that actually help, right? Because I know a lot of you guys have spent a lot of time in your lives taking a lot of notes and then never ever use them. And at that point, they're completely useless. So yes, right? Note taking in 2012, right? So why can't we just take pictures of everything, and why do we have to write down notes if we can just watch your videos at home and rewatch them again, right? So this curve, this graphic here is very important. It's one of the most important things that I think has come out of psychology in terms of things for students to know, right? It's called the forgetting curve. It was made by a guy named Ebbinghaus. And basically, if you look at the curve, what it's saying is that you learned it first, right? You're at 100%. But by the end of the day, you're pretty much at 80 if you're lucky. And by the end of 3 days, you're at 60%. So if you haven't looked at those notes at all in 3 days, you remember 60% or less of what you learned the first day. And if you've got a test, you're in bad shape. But after day 1, if you review it, you go back up to 100. And then if at day 3 you review it, you go back up to 100. And then day 6 you review it, you go back up to 100. And then if you look, you pretty much stay at 90 from that time on, okay? So the first thing is that in order for you to take good notes, you have to use them, review them repetitively. You can't just write them once and put them away, okay? And that's why taking pictures is not good enough. And just watching the video and putting it aside doesn't work because you won't remember it. You have to review it. All right, so how do I know what I think until I see what I write, right? Here's some more research on why you have to take good notes, all right? So very important psychologists, you see all their names, right? And what they found is that note-taking is a more effective study technique than reading or listening alone. And the big thing, though, is on the note-taking strategy you use, as well as if you reviewed them later, all right? Another reason, right, more research, writing is a unique mode of learning, right? So in order to learn, you've got to use new knowledge and connect it with old knowledge, right? And that's the best way to learn things. You connect what you know now with what you know before. And writing allows you to do that. It takes written material and makes it visible so that you can review it, manipulate it, and modify it. Think about the fact why you write lists down, right? Why don't you just go to the grocery store and think about, oh, I'll remember, because you don't remember, right? It's natural for humans to write lists down. And the reason you write things down is because writing it down helps you remember it. So how I want you to take notes for the first unit, right? A lot of you guys may have your own note-taking strategies. Some of you might be really good at it. Some of you might have no idea what you're doing. Some of you might think, well, whatever, right? No way I take notes helps. So for the first unit only, right, I want you to try it my way, okay? So you're going to be using a system called Cornell Notes, okay? And basically this is how you set up a Cornell note, right? So you divide the paper to create a column on the left-hand side. You can take notes in the note section in whatever format you wish, right? So it doesn't matter. You want to take bullet points. You want to take you want to use Roman numerals, you want to draw things, it doesn't matter, right? Then within 24 hours, you're going to reread the notes and add questions, diagrams, anything else important to the left column, right? And here's what I like to say, no naked notes, right? So naked notes are just notes that are there, you wrote them down, then you put them away. They're naked, right? We don't want any of that in this class, no naked notes. Then within 2 days, you're going to reread them again and write a summary, right? Now you've looked at them 3 times. Your memory is going to be great. And then you want to reread and revise continuously. 3 is the minimum and 7 is the magic number. So if you look at it 7 times, you're going to be in a really good place come that test at the end of the unit. So here's an example of some Cornell notes for you, right? This is actually on psychology. It's on motivation. And let's see what's good, right? So what's good is the notes are on the right? They're there. You know, the person took little numbers and little stars, whatever, right? They have pictures and questions on the left. Great. They drew a picture, they made little notation with page numbers, whatever, and they have a summary. Awesome. What's missing? Technically, they could have done all of this at the same time, right? So they literally could have taken the notes, done the questions, and written the summary in the same moment, right? That's not helpful, right? That's just like doing any other note-taking strategy. You need to have evidence of repetitions. So different color pens, highlighting, underlining. How do I know that you looked at these multiple times instead of just did all of the different steps of note-taking in one sitting, which isn't helpful, right? So here's another section of notes, right? This is language arts. Obviously, it's a little bit younger than where you guys are at, but still, good example. So she's got the notes on the right, excellent. Questions on the left, awesome. And she's got evidence of repetitions, right? So she's got highlighting. She's got different color pens. She's added in information, right? This is how you know, okay? what she's missing is those higher level questions on the left. So what are sentence fragments? How does a sentence fragment look? These are pretty much lower level questions, right? They're not really the kind of questions that you might see on an AP test. But remember, again, this is a different level student than you guys are. Okay? Now, here's the thing with Cornell Notes, right? Oh, Cornell Notes don't work for me. I always get that, oh, see, I don't like Cornell Notes. They suck. They don't work. Blah, right? Okay? So here's the deal. Cornell Notes don't work because you're not doing them correctly. And if you are, there's no way they can't work, okay? So Cornell Notes is not about the format. I don't care if they're on a special paper, or if you want to put that little comma left to the right, or if you want to put the summary in the back. It doesn't matter, okay? It only matters that you do the repetitions, that you look at your notes multiple times, adding in information each time you go, right? Rereading and revising your notes will always work, always. You cannot tell me that rereading and revising your notes do not work in order for you to remember it, because you're looking at it multiple times. Taking notes on special paper and not doing any revisions will not work. So using Cornell Note paper doesn't mean you're doing Cornell Notes, all right? It's important to remember, right? Look, see, you could do it like this, one way, or like this. Maybe you make a bigger one and you do the summary in the bottom of the page. Or maybe you take notes on one page and then you use the totally other side to do all your questions and diagrams. It doesn't matter, okay? So make sure you put the date and the heading on your notes. Use abbreviations. I know some of you are going to say, I don't like abbreviations, and I'm obviously not going to force you to use them, but if you use them, you're going to be happy in the long run. Listen and read actively. So think while you're taking notes, right? Don't just take notes mindlessly and write stuff down and scribble down so quickly you're not even thinking about it. That's why videos are cool. You can pause them. Add in diagrams and pictures. If there's a picture on the slide, draw it in, right? And use different colors. So when you're doing your repetitions for your note taking, get out a highlighter, get out a different color pen, use different colors of whatever when you're doing your repetitions. All right, so watching these videos, use the pause button, right? You have the ability to stop me, right? I talk really fast, I know that. And guess what? You could pause me whenever you want, right? You're taking your notes, you get really thirsty, pause, go to the kitchen, grab a snack or a smoothie or a glass of water, okay? A 10-minute video should not take you 10 minutes. At least not for the first couple of times that you're getting used to taking video notes. Put away your distractions, okay? Having out your Facebook, tweeting, watching TV, doing whatever you're trying to do is a waste of your time. You're gonna have to watch it again, and then you're gonna be mad that you didn't just pay attention the first time. And write down questions, right? So anything that's not making sense to you while you're watching this, write them down. I am requiring you to bring in 2 questions to class the next day. It is part of the assignment, okay? That way we can have things to talk about as a class. And then rewatch them if needed. So you don't understand something, you don't remember what you wrote down the night before the test, you're confused, rewatch it. It's like having a personal tutor at home, okay? So one last thing, right, is that I really, really want you to remember that note-taking takes practice and time, so we're going to work on it this term. Don't give up, and I want you to try it this way, and if you don't like it, you can switch to your own at the end of the first test.